My name is Pranav Anand and I belong to Faculty of Electronic Governance. Now, in this session, we will try to briefly discuss cybercrimes, its reasons, nature, types, and impact of these crimes. First of all, let's discuss what does cybercrime means. Now, if we discuss what crime is, then anything barred or against the law is crime. In the same way, uh, all wrongful acts committed on computer, internet, or networks are known as cybercrime. Now, the internet all over world is growing rapidly. That we have seen, that I have explained in the previous sessions. Now, it has given rise to new opportunities in every field we can think of. Be it social media like Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Snapchat, Orkut, etc., which you all might know, or entertainment, business, sports, education. But like I said in the previous session, there are two sides of same coin. Internet also has its fair share of evils, and one of the major disadvantage of internet is cybercrime. Let me try to introduce the concept of cybercrime to you. So, the development of information technology and electronic media, especially from 1980s, have given rise to a new variety of computer-related crimes, which are commonly referred to as cybercrimes. Now, the widespread growth of these crimes has become a matter of global concern and a challenge for the law enforcement agencies in the new millennium. Because of the different nature of these crimes, they can be committed unknowingly and far away from the victim without being physically present there. Further, cyber criminals have a major advantage. They can use computer technology to inflict damage without risk of being caught. These crimes cover a wide range of illegal computer related activities such as theft of communication services, electronic money laundering and tax evasion, terrorism, extortion, telemarketing related frauds, illegal telecommunications related fraud, money laundering, hacking into bank servers, etc. So, to give an example, you see one day a message on your cell phone that hurry up, otherwise you will lose the opportunity of getting 2,50,000 rupees in your bank. And you just click on that SMS, and suddenly you will see that 2 lakh rupees 2,50,000 were misappropriated from your bank, State Bank of India, through falsification of another computerized bank account. So this is one major example of one very common example of cyber crime. So simplest definitions of cybercrime in any legal act is any legal act committed using a computer network, especially through internet, is considered a cybercrime. Now, there are also certain people who feel that cybercrime is not an accurate word, as this term nowhere defined in any statute or act enacted by the parliament. So, in a sense, it is not radically different from the concept of conventional crime, insofar as both include conduct, whether act or omission, which causes breach of law and therefore is punishable by the state. But nonetheless, this form of criticism or this form of issue over the nomenclature is not new in the era of in the field of law, right? So there are various people who would say that cybercrime is a misnomer. There's various people kind that what's so special about cybercrime. But as you all know, cybercrime is there. We cannot negate or evade this with this kind of with going with our philosophical adventure, so to speak. So for this session, I will assume that cybercrime is a real thing, and you have to assume this because it is a real thing. So, a cybercrime may be defined as any illegal criminal activity that is used a computer either as an instrument, target, or means of perpetrating further crime in further crime. So, obviously, like I told, it involves internet. It does not only involves internet, it also, if you see, the means, the medium, the the object, it's all internet. So cyber criminals more often than not use computer technology to affect another computer technology, to access personal information, business trade secrets, or use internet for exploitative coercive purposes. Now, with this we come to the nature of cybercrime. Cybercrime is now known to all of this world and as a crime committed through internet, and it is nowadays become a serious matter of concern all over the world. Nothing is crime unless prescribed by law, but most of the categories of cybercrime are still beyond the reach of law. The nature of criminal law uh, is determinable up to, it's very it's very clear the nature of criminal law, but the nature of cybercrime is such that geographical and political boundaries are rendered irrelevant. And truly speaking, cybercrime is transnational in nature and scope, having varied effects on different parts of the world. So there is this lack of standardized universal anti-cyber crime legislation at the international level, and cyberspace and internet having developed as favorite medium of carrying on wide range of activities, and it has happened at the same time, and it has become an easy and convenient mode of crimes all over the world, which can be detected only with the international cooperation of law enforcement agencies of different countries. You, this non-uniformity of law worldwide, especially for cybercrime, is the foremost need to fight against cybercrimes and criminals. You all have seen Hollywood movies wherein certain person just implants a virus in the system and it just hacks all over world's computer software, and suddenly the world in danger, and some American actor will come and save New York, and by saving New York ultimately it means saving all over the world. That's to come to the serious aspect that to come to the serious aspect. Now you see how internet is becoming crucial for the governance of all over the world. The 12th UN Congress on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice held in Brazil on 12th and 19th of April 2010 held extensive discussion expressing serious concern over the massive use of computer science and technology by the perpetrators of cybercrime and measures to be adopted by preventing authorities in fighting against these crimes. What could be reasons for cybercrime? Now, remember the example that I gave you is uh, hurry, otherwise you will lose the opportunity of getting 2,50,000 in your bank account. So obviously the human element, that is to gain financial benefit at low risk, is also a very important reason for happening of cyber crimes. Negligence is very closely connected with human conduct. It is therefore very probable that while protecting the computer system there might be any negligence, right? The loss of evidence, it's very obvious problem that all the data are routinely destroyed and get to the dark net. Further collection of data outside the territorial extent also paralyzes the system of crime investigation. This is the significant feature of computer system, is that it evidence is just can be destroyed in no time. And criminals find it easy to destroy the evidence soon after the crime is committed, which makes it very difficult for the investigation agencies to collect relevant material evidence for prosecution of the accused. Now, what about jurisdiction? Indefinite legal jurisdiction is also a problem of cybercrime. Uh, Now, types of cybercrime. Cybercrimes are broadly categorized into three areas, namely crime against individual property and government. Crime against individual can be cyber stalking, which every teenager in this country is doing right now. Cyber stalking. Cyber stalking involves following person's movement across the internet by posting messages, by entering the chat rooms. Cyber stalking usually occurs with women who are stalked by men. But let's not stereotype. A cyber stalker does not have to leave his home to harass his target and has no fear of physical avenge. What do you need to do? You have to install Instagram in your phone and do the needful. So let me give an example. An honors graduate from the University of Delhi in India. Let's give you a factual example. So an honors graduate from University of San Diego in USA terrorized five female students over the internet for more than a year. The victim received hundreds of violent emails, sometimes receiving 4 or 5 messages a day. The student told the police, the student who was the offender pleaded guilty, told the police that he had committed the crimes because he thought that women were laughing at him and causing others to ridicule him. And in reality, the victims have never met him. That easy. Now, cyber defamation. Cyber defamation with a zings of pun took the name of meme culture. But let's not go there. Let's keep to the basics. So cyber defamation. This implies defamation of individual by anything which can be read, seen, or heard with the help of computer. Any derogatory statement which is intended to injure a person's name or reputation on a website by sending emails or containing defamatory information and or information to some other person constituted the offense of cyber defamation. But cyber defamation is also a threat to freedom of speech and expression. And we see nowadays, for example, giving example of tweet of Prasad Bhushan. In no matter, in no time, it became the question of how much, how what is the scope of cyber defamation and from where cyber defamation ends and freedom of speech and expression starts. We have to look all of this area. And now privacy infringement. Now under section 72 of Information Technology Act, where any person illegally and without consent of the person concerned discloses any electronic book, register, information and document, that person will be liable for breach of confidentiality and privacy. Now in case Puttaswamy judgment, our judges have talked about something called informational self-determinism. So, information self-determinism is an aspect of privacy wherein you have all the right in the world to decide up to what amount of information you want to you want to give, right? You want to provide in public space. Now let's talk about cybercrime against economy, hacking, email bombing, spoofing. Now, what is spoofing? Now, in one case, a foreigner who had been residing in Shimla, India for almost 30 years, wanted to avail a scheme introduced by Shimla Housing Board to buy land at lower rates. When he made an application, it was rejected on the grounds that the scheme was available only for citizens of India. Then he decided to take his revenge consequently and he sent thousands of emails to Shimla Housing Board and repeatedly kept sending emails till their server crashed. Now, email spoofing, take an example of email spoofing. Like Pooja has an email address, uh, Pooja at the rate asianlaws.org, and her ex boyfriend, namely Sameer, spoofs her email and sends her obscene messages to all her known. Since the email appeared to have originated from Pooja, her relationship with her prince may be spoiled for life, as if it was a concern. Now we come to virus, creation of virus. The example that I gave you with Bollywood movies and internet time theft, webjacking, digital forgery, all of these are concerns of cybercrime. Then comes cyber terrorism, major concern in today's world. Now we will see now in coming sessions we will see what is cyber contravention and how to decide and what is the concept of cyber jurisdiction. Till then, thank you.